Welcome our very special guest tonight, Hector Romero.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show, my man.
Pleasure, man.
What's up, man?
I'm in Redhook.
That's it.
First timer.
First timer.
Yeah,
The
show is bringing a lot of people to Redhook.
That's an important thing. Well done.
We're promoting the neighborhood.
Respect, yes.
Right.
And the restaurants in here, I'll be back for sure. The restaurants are kicking around here.
Yeah.
I like it.
I guess we could plug the restaurant you went to
Yep.
tonight. Where'd you
Yes.
guys go eat?
Is the Brooklyn,
Brooklyn
Crab?
Crab.
Yep.
Brooklyn Crab, yes.
You got to
Food
try
good?
Kevin's Lobster Pound.
We were supposed to go to
Hometown.
Lobster Pound first, but
Right.
apparently switched dates because of the holidays.
Yep.
Usually closes on Mondays, but they were open yesterday, so I'll come back for that. And Kevin's, and then
Kevin's
there's
across
that,
the street.
that meat
Hometown.
place. Yes.
Yeah, the
Okay.
barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good fork.
unbelievable.
There's a lot of good places down here.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is
first time because I'm from the Bronx, so
okay.
I always say guys from the Bronx have no business going to Brooklyn and vice versa. But this is when we were young, though. You know, it's like now it's like I like coming here. You know,
Sure.
I
Now
mean, the only time I went to the Bronx was for a Yankee game.
Or girl, maybe you found a girl, but yes, Yankees. That's right.
Yep.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yankee fans for
Yeah,
sure.
all right,
Yep.
Yankee fan. I'm a
That's
Mets
right.
fan. So.
All right.
Sorry to hear that.
That's all right. That's all right. So
Yes, sir, man.
we're really excited to have you here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
You know, you've seen the show,
Yes.
obviously.
Yep, I tuned
So
in a couple of times.
We love to get into it. You know, we love to hear about your story, how it all happened, where it started.
Sure.
So let's take it from the top.
Yeah. Take it to the top.
Well,
So-
what year was it? Let's start with the year.
Well, back to the Bronx again.
Yep.
So 83, grade school, elementary school. Basically in the Bronx, there were a lot of outdoor events, kind of block parties as you call them.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa, Islam. They were doing parties all over, and it was like the thing to do on the weekends, go to block parties. And either you were a DJ into electric boogieing or breakdancing,
Right.
sports, or a drug dealer. Those were your choices pretty much. I was a good dancer, but I enjoyed, what attracted me was the DJing,
Yep.
watching the DJs entertaining. And it wasn't about being a show off, it was just like, wow, it's nice to entertain, I like that. And then my parents also were very festive, very social, festive family. So
Okay.
there was always house parties at home. My father was very into the salsa music, my mom into the disco as well. And so there was always people in the house on the weekends.
So it was in the blood.
It was in the blood, yeah. So when I first got my decks in 83, 83, I told my dad, I said, I want to try this DJing thing out. He was like, all right, yeah, why not? Check it out. Got me a pair of SLB 1200s, direct drive, you know, with the
Yep.
belt driven, and a Gemini mixer. Put in the bedroom that I shared with my sister. Shared a room with my sister, that's for sure, 3 years younger than me. And it just went from there, just kind of like a natural flow where, actually, I was playing baseball in school,
Yep.
and I just stopped, basically. I just got really hooked on the music. And the DJing just really grabbed me. Everything about it.
What was the first? Do you remember the first mix you did? The two records that you mixed the first
You know
time.
what? I can't remember that,
Okay.
but because I started with hip hop. I started off with hip hop. So I remember battling one time. This is a true story. I thought I was cool. I was only a couple months into DJing already. I was like, I want to battle somebody. I was like, so we did this battle, and this kid, he brought out Heartbeat, the record Heartbeat on.
By Tanya Gardner.
Yeah, Tanya Gardner.
Yep.
This kid whipped my ass in this battle. I was so embarrassed in front of friends. And that's why I knew. I was like, you know what? Back to the drawing board. We got to practice. This was all about practicing. And
That was
all
the
through my,
wake-up
like,
call, right?
from 8th grade all the way through like the first couple of years of high school was just constantly practicing and trying to just get better and listening to Kiss FM, where Tony Humphries was doing his radio show on 98.7, and listening to him. He was my first influence of like when it came to early house music. And I'm kind of jumping around a little bit,
No,
but
that's fine. That's fine.
it's all coming to me as
Yeah.
as I'm here under the lights. But yeah,
The alcohol's for.
yes. So yeah, during the early high school, I was also into the mobile DJing thing. I did
Okay.
my first 4 years was excessive mobile DJ work. I was a DJ that I worked for a company that had a really good equipment,
Yep,
and they
yep.
hired me as the DJ that just played the music, and I would still have to show up and carry amps and heavy speakers up.
I know all about it.
Up, to these halls in the middle of anywhere, just kind of
going
just
through
set up.
kitchens. and
Oh,
all
it was
that
crazy.
Stuff. Yep.
But you earned your money.
That's right.
But I was doing well doing. I remember one year I did in a 52 year, I did like 48 parties. It was like. My father was like, "You're making this money, DJ? What the hell? I'm busting my ass in the hospital, like working in the kitchen."
Well, I guess that gave you good versatility, right? Because playing at these different parties.
Well, that's what made me realize that you play for the crowd. You don't play for yourself. And I learned to be an entertainer as far as like catering to people that you play. What they want. A wedding, a bat mitzvah, 316s. I did a lot of those. So it was about learning to cater to different crowds, and I think that still helps me to this day. That I'm kind of I'm a house DJ, but eclectic at the same sense that I kind of like can weave my way around styles of house depending on what's going on in front of me.
Sure.
So the mobile DJing work definitely was a big influence of how I play now too, and speaking on the microphone and stuff like that.
Do you speak on the microphone at any of your gigs, or?
No, I'm more of a yeller. I've been known to yell at people. Like, yeah, come on, Cielo! Like yelling at the crowd, and people like, this guy's freaking crazy, all right. And the guy's like, do you need the microphone? I said, I don't need a mic. It's like, I yell at my crowd. I make them dance, so.
But that just goes to show, like, your passion, right?
Yeah, I have a true sense of the passion. I kind of do believe that I was born to do this. I'm not good at anything else. I'm honest. I'm not good at fixing cars. I'm not good at anything else. I feel that I'm 34 years in doing this now, and there comes a point where you actually think, all right, like. Not in a cocky way, just kind of like you feel like, all right, man, you're good at this, and people respect you for what you do.
Yep.
And I appreciate when people appreciate what I do, and vice versa. I love that. So I just have fun. So it's all about having fun. Still, I mean, like even traveling nowadays is like promoters don't pay me to DJ. They pay me to travel to get to where I gotta go.
Yep.
It's like hold on, 8-hour flights to get to Europe every weekend and sitting in delays and airports and stuff like that. That's the hard work, really.
Well, you were just in Europe, right? Where were you?
This summer, yes. I had a beautiful summer. I was basically anywhere from Italy, Spain, Greece. Those are the main parts I was at, but different parts within each country. I spent a lot of time in South Italy in a place called Puglia, which is about you land in an airport called either Bari or Lecce, and you drive an hour almost to the tip, to the heel of Italy, all the way to the south, in a place called Salento. And that's where I spent a lot of my time, and that's where one of the most famous clubs in South Italy called Gwendolina. And that's where like everywhere from Richie Hawtin and the Dubfire to, you name them, Joseph Capriati's, they all do their parties at this club called Gwendolina. And then there's about 10 other clubs in a 10-mile radius, and this is where it's happening in the summertime in South Italy.
And how long are your sets usually when you play out in these clubs?
As a guest DJ in these summer places, usually sets run from 2 to 3 hours. If the night's going well, it could be a little more, and all the clubs in the summertime are outdoors. You don't play indoors.
Can you describe the vibe, why the vibe is different opposed to from Europe to the States?
That's a totally easy question. It's like, they're you know how we're born and raised here in America with hip hop and R&B. Their first music is dance music. They know, they understand, and they have a passion for dance music, and it's what they love to do. They love going out. They love to entertain and have a good time. Yep. You see the Italians, they get dressed to the T, but they don't mind sweating in it. They party. It's not just about grabbing the bottle service thing. It's about partying in Italy, and that's one of the beautiful things that I appreciate about the Italians and how much they love to just go out. It's part of their ritual, really. It's part of their what they do is.
It's about enjoying life, right? I mean,
that's the yes, exactly. That's the beauty of that. The quality of life in Europe. In Europe in general, you enjoy life.
You enjoy life,
you
yeah.
know, life is short, and try to enjoy it as much as you can. But then the Italians, they do it just a little bit more. And August, everything shuts down. Everyone's in the beach during the day.
You can't even get gas at a certain time.
That's right, yeah. You know, and gelato time is gelato time. You're walking around, everyone's looking at each other. I said the Italians, they like looking at each other.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just kind of like, you know,
They
people
like
watching.
drinking espresso at set hours of the day, like 10
Well,
o'clock.
everything's a ritual,
Everybody's
right?
like, yeah,
It's
like,
right.
all right, let's go.
You
get
wake
coffee.
up, you have your croissant, you have your coffee, your cappuccino. Lunchtime, if you have your pasta and your fish or whatever, and then you wait until 7, 8 o'clock until the restaurant opens up, because otherwise there's not much to pick on.
Yep.
You know, especially like me as a tourist. If you're in the hotel. The hotel will only give you like a piece of toast or some prosciutto or melon, and otherwise you're waiting till 7, 8 o'clock.
The whole
But I've gotten
day
used to
revolves
that.
around food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten used to that from my years of going to Europe. I think I've become a better person by traveling to Europe. Even road rage doesn't happen. You know, it's like you let people cross. You just
I didn't
it's
curse
okay.
in the car once. over
See
there.
what I'm
I
talking
came
about?
here and I'm cursing in the car.
You brought,
Yeah.
that's right. We're
Hector was
stressed out
cursing on
here.
his way here because of the traffic.
Don't bring that up because I'm gonna keep drinking that.
So,
Yes.
so let's take a few steps back.
All right. Yes.
So DJing, weddings, bar mitzvahs, walking through kitchens,
Yep.
getting your chops in,
Yep.
right? Learning. What was the next step after that for you?
Getting pretty well known in the Bronx at a club called La Mirage.
Okay.
Very big in the freestyle days.
Yep.
Everyone from TK to Judy Torres to Latin Rascals, every big named freestyle act performed at La Mirage. I was a resident DJ from 89 to 92-ish,
And how old were you at this time?
19 through 22-ish. Maybe not 22, but definitely 18, 19. I was definitely DJing at La
You were
Mirage.
DJ freestyle.
I was DJ freestyle, yep. And then early house music,
Yep.
Yep.
which was even early acid house, because acid house and Chicago house were coming into America,
Yep.
into New York, and I was really hooked on that. But I was playing freestyle in the beginning, and then freestyle started getting a little watered down.
Yep.
It's just kind of like hokey at
Yes.
the same old, same old.
Yep.
Maybe you relate, yeah.
No, I definitely.
I mean, I
know.
loved it. I really came from freestyle.
I had like 3
I-
good years, and then
yes.
after that, it was just
Yes.
kind of like.
I mean,
repetitive.
I was with the producers, listening to the early stuff that was about to come out. Freestyle. I knew freestyle. I lived freestyle. I always say that freestyle. You know how doo-wop music. Do you see how the older people are traveling around watching those acts?
Yes, that's what
Freestyle's
freestyle
gonna
is,
be.
Well, that's
in
what it
30
is.
years, we're gonna be like,
That's
hey,
what it
Judy
is.
Torres on
You
the
have the
fucking thing,
freestyle free-for-alls. I mean, that's.
They do well though. These acts. They're still performing around
Well, I mean,
everywhere.
freestyle, I think, was big. It was big in Brooklyn.
Yep.
It was big in the Bronx. It was
Yep.
big in Queens.
Yep.
The boroughs.
Yep.
I think those
Absolutely.
3 boroughs it was huge.
It was huge.
And it was also big in Chicago.
Yeah.
Outside
Yep.
of that,
Outside
Yeah,
of that,
that's
it was
Miami.
just- and Miami,
Yeah.
Miami was big.
So you said that, so like those boroughs things, it was a borough thing, yes. So now, fast forward to one of your questions, is like basically the next step was like actually going to DJ in Manhattan. And my first gig to play in Manhattan was at Studio 54, where this promoter, his name was Eric Brahms, I still remember him. And I give him props because he was the one that found and had heard about me in the Bronx.
So
and
wait,
says-
before you go, you had a nickname, right?
Yes.
How did you get the
Yes.
nickname of Baby Heck?
During my catering DJ, mobile DJ days, when I was DJing, and the maitre d' would come up to me and goes, I need to announce you. What's your name? I like your music. I said, Hector Romero. I didn't have a DJ name. He was like, that's quite boring, he tells me. He goes, I'm going to give you a name. Baby Heck. And the maitre d' named me. And I was doing this 316 where there were a lot of friends, and everyone heard it, and it stuck.
And then it just stuck.
And then I just couldn't get rid of the name. I tried to give it a name in the early 90s. I started getting serious about house music, just wanted to up my, your profile. Just
Sure.
And I thought it was kind of like...
Hector Romero's a great name, though.
Yeah, that is a good
It's a
name.
great name.
I didn't think so at the time, yeah. Even when I wanted to be a baseball player, I was like, Hector Romero, that's a boring baseball name. It's like, it's just, I think
a
it
good
always
DJ
sounded so
name.
ethnic. I don't know. It was just one of those things when you're growing up. So anyway, so he named me Baby Heck, and that name stuck for like a good 15 years of my career. And still people that know me, and in my bio, I still put it in there.
Yeah.
I make fun of it, but I'm proud of it. It was,
No, I mean,
it was
that's
part of my making for sure. And people that still know me, there's like once in a while, hey, Baby Heck, it's like, actually a true story. This guy I was talking to recently, he's from the Bronx as well. And can you believe this guy, he comes up to me and goes, whatever, he's talking to me, he goes, whatever happened to that guy, Baby Heck? I'm like, you're kidding me right now, right? You're pulling me. He goes, no. I said, that's me. He goes, get out of here. I can't believe that's you for real. He couldn't believe it. We were just cracking up. I thought he was pulling my leg the whole time, but he was serious. It's like, I just have stopped using the name for a while. And it was a transition too, because I was doing the gigs and I would get gigs and not put Baby Heck, and people, even during the rave days, I was doing for like Satellite Records, doing big for Alien Sanctuary, doing under Baby Heck. And when I switched over, it was like I wasn't getting my crowd because they didn't know who you are. Yeah. So, but it was part of progression. Yeah. So yeah, I finally made it to Manhattan.
So what was that feeling like when you were like?
Well,
right,
it's like you're in New York City. Bronx is part of New York City, but
Yeah,
it was
54
like
was
you're
like,
fucking going. You're going to Manhattan.
It was
to play.
something about making it in Manhattan. Yes.
It was making
It was very big.
Yeah.
so your first gig was in 54.
At Studio 54 with El General performing, Brand Nubians, and it was myself and I can't remember the other DJ. But it was a Sunday night. Monday was a holiday. There were big things to do.
How nervous were you?
Really nervous, shaking to the point that I was playing. It was vinyl days, so I'm shaking.
I know that feeling. Yeah.
When you're just trying to queue up, and yeah, man. And this is Studio 54, and it's a legendary room,
club, yeah.
and it's huge, and there's 3,000 people. It's sold out, packed, and I still remember. I still have these picture of the marquee sign, Studio 54 with Baby Heck. Yeah. So it was one of those pictures I'll always cherish.
Sure.
So it was a big night for sure. And then after that one went really well. And that same promoter, Eric Brahms, his father, Maurice Brahms, was the owner of Red Zone, the club Red Zone.
Okay.
And the next event that he wanted to put me on was my first night playing with David Morales. I was going to Red Zone during its heyday, and I didn't know David Morales. I would just go there religiously every weekend. Every weekend for 4 years I went.
So Eric Brown was like the plug for you.
He's my, that I owe it to for making it into Manhattan, for sure. And he's still around, though. He's a good guy.
Now, how did you meet him?
He found me, right?
Yeah, he found me, like, he had heard, because he was promoting events.
Okay.
He was like a city promoter doing events.
Yep.
And he had heard about what I was doing in the Bronx at La Mirage, and I was working at the time at a record store called DJ Specialty Shop in the Bronx, really well-known record shop where it was really known for hip-hop, but I was the one that was doing the selling of house music. A lot of DJs would come to the Bronx and come buy house music from me. And so all this started, I guess, trickling into the city, and Eric Brahms heard about. He comes to the Bronx now. He comes to the Bronx and comes to the record store and comes to find me and says, I heard what you're doing, people talking about you, and I like to do this party at Studio 54. But that one went well, as I told you. Then the next one was the one at Red Zone. Now, I was more nervous for that one because Red Zone was part of it was like me, like someone going to the garage. I was too young to go to the garage. I don't know what the garage was.
Yep.
Red Zone was my garage where I was every weekend. I lived it. And listening to David Morales every weekend, it was big for me. It was like, so when this guy tells me, we're going to do a Sunday night party and I'm going to put you up with David Morales, I'm like, wow, what, really? Really, wow. But also, he was also not using me, but yes, as a promoter, I was busting my ass.
Yeah, well, I mean,
guerrilla promoting at clubs
yep.
outside, giving out flyers.
Yeah,
I did a lot of that. I skipped that part.
But that's how it
so
was.
So I earned my spot, basically.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah, I was good at what I did, but I was bringing people from the Bronx, like tons of people from the Bronx. It was crazy. It was like we would sell out the clubs. So when he puts me with David Morales, now the funny story is that David had heard about me also, but he thought I was still a freestyle DJ. I had stopped playing freestyle for a good 2 years or so. So he gets my number from Eric Brahms. Morales calls me up about a week before the party. He goes, "Hey, how you doing? It's Dave Morales."
Quiet storm.
Yeah, he got that deep voice. He goes, "I understand we're playing next week together in my house, you know." He goes, "You don't play any of that freestyle shit, right?" I swear to God, he tells me that over the phone. I'm like, "Freestyle? I'm done playing freestyle 2 years ago." I'm like, dude, I'm like, no. I go to Red Zone every week. I go to listen to you, man. I know what you're doing, and of course, no, I don't play freestyle. I'm house, you know. It's like, he goes, "All right, well, we're gonna have a good time." And I was like, he was cool on the phone, aside from that remark.
Yeah.
Fast forward comes the night of the party. Amazing. I couldn't ask for anything. Everything went amazing. Everything. I mean, I opened up for him. End of the night, he comes up to me, he goes, "I'm going to London next week. I'm playing at Ministry of Sound. You think you could fill in for me next week at Red Zone?" I was like, the same night. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "As a matter of fact, no, I'm going away for 2 weeks. So I want you to fill in for me for 2 weeks."
Wow. That's the break.
Yep.
To this day, it's just like, it was just like, we just met. Like, you heard me play for 2 hours, but I think it was part of like my whole, you know, my approach, everything, you know, just kind of just humble about just the way I am about to this day, just easy. I'm
Positive vibes.
it's the only way. I
Yeah.
teach my daughter to be that way. Be
positive
good to
vibes.
everybody. You don't know who's gonna be who in the future. It doesn't matter if they're gonna be anybody. Just
Of
treat
course,
people
yeah.
the way you want to be treated.
Of course.
Exactly.
So,
So you must have been, in your head, you must have been like, when you got home, you must have like
freaking out.
put a hole in the ceiling.
Started practicing for the next week.
By getting new records, getting like.
Didn't even go to sleep. Just started practicing for the next week. And from that day on, from that 1992 maybe it was, 92, give or take, 91, 92. I've been with him since, and fast forward, I'm at Def Mix 26 years now. I've practically grown up at the company. We do everything together, and I'm fast forwarding, way fast forwarding, but that was the breaks, you know, the Eric Brahms at Red Zone, Studio 54, Dave Morales, and I'm in debt in a good way to them for life, for sure.
But that's,
you know,
but I
for
mean,
sure.
that's how it happens.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's the path just opened up for me,
Yep.
you know, and thank God it's still
And
keeps
obviously,
opening
you
up.
have to be a good DJ.
Yes,
You know?
yeah. You know, I don't
you
toot my
weren't
own horn because
I mean, if you weren't a good
even to this
DJ,
day,
you
there's
weren't gonna get,
people still will. I'm blessed because they will give me a chance because I'm part of Def Mix, but they're only going to give you that one chance, that one time.
Yeah, you have to make it happen.
Right.
And thank God that I'm still doing it. Yeah, that.
But I mean, you know, like, you know, you obviously, it's the same thing, like you being a DJ and like an OG now, right? Because you've been around for so
yes,
long.
I accept the title, sure.
But you know, if you're playing in a club and there's a guy maybe you've never played with before and they're opening up for you, like you'll be able to recognize if somebody is good.
Yes.
You know.
I was telling John this story at dinner. John from Forward Disco.
Shout out to Forward Disco.
I was telling him the story about this summer. I actually heard 2 DJs at Pasha in Mallorca, who I had never heard about before. They're the resident DJs at this club in Mallorca. Now they play every day, Monday through Sunday, every day.
Wow.
They play every day. They're the resident DJs at this club. And so on my night, they were my opening DJs. And I'm sitting there an hour. I like to go an hour before my gigs, always.
Sure.
I like
Just
to go.
hear what's going on.
Yeah, I want to feel the room out. I want to have a drink, chill, calm the nerves.
Yep.
I still get nervous to this day.
Of course.
And these guys are killing it. I'm like, damn. It's like, because the art of being an opening DJ doesn't exist anymore hardly.
No.
Very rare that you find a good opening DJ that inspires you, that is working the room, that is not overdoing it, is respecting the time slot that they're playing at, 11 o'clock, and they're not playing like it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
You know, there's an art to being an
There
opening
is.
DJ. We have this conversation a lot with a lot of DJs.
Yeah. And we
These
talk
two
about
guys-
it on the show a
yeah,
lot.
right on. These 2 guys, they got it going on. They really were really good. I was impressed. Even I was just like, damn, they're good. How am I gonna follow this up? Like, they knew their room. They're the residents. They play there every day. They know their crowd. And I was just like, it's good. Wow, it felt good to actually be introduced to new, good talent that care about what they do and respect the talents, respect the craft. And we've hit it off. I got to play again this past Saturday, and we hit it off, and we'll be in touch forever because these guys are that good. And I put myself in that place. Like I remember when it was my first time, and they would tell me, oh man, we were excited to open for you. I was like, okay, cool, yeah. Thank you. But they were good, and I respect that. And I wish you could find more of that, because a lot of times, though, it's sad to say, I go to gigs and opening DJs are a little bit left to be desired, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't like to talk about like that, but
well, you know what it is? Everyone's trying to get on.
Well,
and they're trying
you're
to
right.
play.
You're absolutely right.
Everybody wants to play the hits.
Right.
And
Right.
they don't really understand how important it is
Warming
to
up
open
a room. It's
They just
crucial.
want to be recognized,
It's-
so
right.
they don't realize how important.
But you're doing yourself a disservice sometimes also just banging it out. You're people walking in like getting hit over the head, so early in the night, where we're actually. I think that back to Morales, I think that's what he respected. The way I opened up for him. It's just you knew your place.
Yes.
Like I'm doing this boat party Saturday. I'm not opening up for Roger S. We're playing together, but I'm still respecting that he is the one, the main highlight of the night, and I'm gonna play accordingly.
Right.
It's like I'm 34 years in. I really don't have to, but I respect the craft. I respect that where my place is. It's like it is what it is.
I'll tell you, I always liked, like when I first started DJing, I opened up for a couple of guys like Hex Hector and Glenn Fisher, but I was really young. And to be honest with you, like I didn't really understand the game back then. But like I had a conversation with somebody where they said like, you gotta like the volume has to be at a certain level. You can't be like cranking it up.
Yep.
I knew not to play like the hits.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Do not.
So like it was important, and I remember like one week where I couldn't make it to open up, and like they had some other guy, and like the next week I go there and Hex is like, don't ever do that again. Like
Don't
I
ever
came
leave
in,
me.
like the guy was playing, like it was on, like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was crazy, but like you learn, right? You always have to be like paying attention.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's important. But I still enjoy opening up.
Opening up is cool.
I think because you get to play some really great records that you don't normally play at a peak time, but are really good. And you sort of just
100%.
build that vibe in the room,
Absolutely.
It's very important.
Very
Opening
important.
DJ is one of the most important things for the night.
Or like when an opening DJ, let's say like, for instance, like let's say Green Velvet is playing one night. Opening DJ should not be playing a Green Velvet record. It's like, don't touch, not one. And that has happened. I've heard this, like, the opening DJs will play the guest DJ's productions. Why are you playing his records in your set? But anyway.
That's sad.
Speaking about production, you have a couple records that you've done, some new stuff that's coming out, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, production is not my thing 100%. I'm dabbling more than ever. I've hooked up with a couple of producers that have patience to work with me. Because it was never about production with me in the whole 30 years that I've been doing it. For me, it was always been about the business part of I like the business and still do the whole record company part. I should have been an entertainment lawyer because I love entertainment law. I really do. I read up on it as much as I can, especially now with the new laws with streaming and stuff like that. The game has changed.
Yes.
Royalty rates and all that.
Maybe you can help us out with a couple of things.
My pleasure. Anytime, for sure. So I like the whole business end of things, but it started getting to a point where I felt forced into having to produce a record because nowadays that's the game.
Yep.
It kind of sucks that you can't just be a DJ anymore. And I feel bad for a lot of DJs that are just DJs and would like to pursue to make their careers get bigger and better. But if they're not doing records, it's hard.
It's hard, yeah.
It's hard. It's a shame. It's hard. I feel that I'm like the last generation that gets away with just being a DJ. Doesn't exist anymore that much. I'm really blessed in that way, where people will still book me on my DJing, you know,
Yep.
just, but then it started getting to a point where it's like, oh, heck, you know, if you don't have a record, I started hearing that a lot especially from my agents. You got to do a record. My agents were telling me, you got to do a record. I was just like, damn, I got to do a record. I was like, all right, well, I'll do it. I haven't done anything that I'm super crazy proud of. I think one of the things that I would love to accomplish before I'm done in this business is to contribute a good record to house music.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Something that I could be like, I did that record that did well around the world. I would like to do that. I would like to do that. But if it doesn't happen, it's fine with me. So the things I'm doing, like, you know, like, I'm really happy to announce tonight, actually, that Nervous Records, they're celebrating the 25th anniversary in the business, 25 years.
Yep.
So I've been with them, listening to them since record one. Between them and Strictly Rhythm is like since record one. That was like the core of house music in New York City. So they just asked me, Michael Weiss just asked me to mix the next compilation for Nervous, which will be out in the new year. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
quite proud to be to do that. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
And Nervous was like one of the biggest labels in house music.
And you know what? And you say was, but they actually still continue to. It's hard nowadays to have a record label, but I think Michael and Andrew and everyone at Nervous, they're marketing geniuses, I call them. They're really good at marketing, and that's probably one of the main things that you need nowadays. Being socially active on social networks and your marketing. He's got a brand. He's got a brand that it was like he knew he couldn't let it go, or maybe he just found his way to start again last 10 years, maybe I think it's been or so, where it's just been on the up and up. Nervous again, yeah. And like even now doing Strictly Rhythm, like you don't hear so much from Strictly Rhythm, but they're starting also Strictly Rhythm again. It's kind of like the house is finding its way back into the game.
Yeah,
again.
well, I mean, vinyl's not coming back for, say, DJs to be playing vinyl in clubs, but vinyl is like at its biggest level right now.
Yes. And if I didn't have a house, daughter, and 2 cars, I'd be buying vinyl too, but I can't afford to buy vinyl every week. Things are expensive nowadays.
I mean, if you think about
I spent enough money on vinyl.
You think about how it's changed from, I mean, there's so many ways to get music now.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
but like, you know, years ago, you'd go to the record store with $100 and you'd get maybe like 8 or 9 records if you're buying imports, right?
Every Tuesday, satellite records, dance tracks, every Tuesday from 93 to 2001, every weekend, every Tuesday. It was every Tuesday they get all the new imports, so it was about going to satellite. Death Mix is on 21st Street in Broadway. Take a cab down to Bowery and just shop all night, and it was fun. And then you, almost like being here with the guys, it was like going to satellite. It was a community, you know, and guys talking about the latest record. Did you hear this?
What's
this
working,
is not
what's not
right.
working.
This is coming out. I heard there's a promo out already. There was a buzz. It was fun. It was like electric. It was like, oh, I gotta get that record. And then you knew that they only had 10 copies coming into the store, and you knew you were gonna get that one copy because you were a loyal customer.
Now, you used to be on like the promo lists for labels and stuff. You used to get stuff. I mean, that was always like a privilege to get that stuff.
Yeah. Well, because I had started off at the record shop in the Bronx, I was already on the mailing list as a retailer.
Yep.
So of course, before DJs, they want to sell their records, so they were going to send me the promos to listen to because they eventually would like me to sell them.
So you must have had.
So I was on a mailing list for every major label, every independent label in America, and then of course I was buying the imports from Watts Music back in the days.
I remember Watts.
Nemesis was another one. Syntax, that was another one. So I was getting all these promos. I did skip a part of my life also when I was working at Emotive Records. And Emotive Records was one of the labels that was part of like the whole 90s era
I remember
house
Emotive.
music. Yeah. So when I started working there, I was getting promos there as well. And of course, because I was DJing. But yeah, I was on mailing lists for a lot of labels, yep. I remember when I moved and I had to get in touch with people that would be like, oh, I'm moving to this address. It's like, oh, that's a lot of labels. I have to let them know that I'm moving. I hope everybody gets it. I want to remain on mailing lists, you know.
Sure.
So yes, like Nervous, I have the catalog all in promos. It's like, it's kind of cool.
Where do you keep all your vinyl?
Still at home, but this is the last time I'm moving them records. I moved to my house in Long Island 8 years ago, and I was living in Queens for a couple of years. And I remember the moving company came to the house to give me an estimate on what it would be.
Oh, once they see records, it's over.
Dude, it was just like that. Well, it was a split level house, so I had the living part upstairs, and downstairs was in the basement. Basically, was my setup with my records. And the guy comes in, he goes, "Oh yeah, estimate." Oh, this is. I said, "No, we need to go downstairs." When he opened up the door, he was like, "Oh, okay." And so that was a lot of money moving those records in. So I've got about 15,000. It doesn't seem like a lot, but
that's a lot.
I threw out a lot before that move, just stuff that.
Yeah, I'm sure you got a lot of like fillers and
stuff like that. Yeah.
All those promo records.
Yeah. But I kept the best of the best.
Yep.
And I still have them in this house that I'm at right now, but I kind of said that would be the last time, but you know they're part. It's almost like someone that's into books.
Oh yeah.
You know they're
it's
books.
Like how can
library.
how can you get rid of them?
It's tough.
And seeing how things are worth now on Discogs, stuff that I have is like gold mine. You know,
course.
Like, especially that I have a lot of promos of stuff. You know, like a Frankie Knuckles whistle song for $200. It's like on Discogs. It's like, well, I've got 4 of those. It's a good $800.
Yeah.
So, the vinyl, it's part of what makes me up.
So let's talk about the preparation that goes into your gigs. Like, how do you prepare going into a new gig? Playing a new room or playing an old room, what's the preparation like?
I'm actually pretty much a nerd about that. It's like, I prep. Yeah. Even like, I mentioned those guys from Pasha de Mallorca, the opening DJs, Alex and the other guy. I'll actually, when I see the flyer and it's like opening set by, I'll actually go to their SoundCloud page to listen to what they play. I'm telling the truth.
Well, it's great the technology now you can do that.
Yeah.
Opposed to back in the day where you didn't know.
Which helps me know if I'm playing a room for the first time that I don't know what the room might like.
Yep.
You know, like a lot of times the people book me, but I'm the first time being a guest at that club. I have no idea. I don't have a friend to ask. You know, I only have the source of the opening DJ.
Yep.
So I'll do that. Not like freaking. I'll just kind of peek and listen a little bit.
I'm sure you're not the only one doing that.
Right on. Yeah, good.
But you do your homework because I mean you want to see how these guys play.
Well, that's what it is. It's homework. I still shop on Beatport and TrackSource religiously. Every week.
And
pretty much.
it's crazy though too, like how much music is at your fingertips. Like you can get caught up in just like taking so much off that site, right?
It's too much.
It's crazy.
I think they mentioned recently that every week on Beatport there's I'm not exaggerating it, over 30 to 40,000 releases per week.
Wow.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, are we talking about all kind of music?
Yeah.
But that's crazy. So what percentage is house music? A big percentage.
A big percentage, yeah.
Yeah. So I love to record shop. I mean, record shop. I still call it record shop. I still make mixtapes, even though they're not mixtapes. I call them mixtapes, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, my prep is constantly listening to new music. Speaking with a few of my good buddies that I trade music with, and because you can't keep up on your own. It's hard.
Yeah, it is
It's
hard.
tough. It really is.
I have my good friends that I swap with and share music with, and that's basically it. I mean, just really like doing my homework. I really do homework.
Yeah.
It's I feel like that's part of like earning my pay.
Yeah. Well,
it's preparation. A chef preps.
Of course.
Right.
So did you prepare anything for us tonight?
The only thing I did prep for tonight is knowing that, because I was in this mindset of the Nervous 25-year anniversary. I knew we would speak a little bit about the history. I kind of wanted to do a little like classic house stuff. Like,
nice.
We
like,
love that.
Yeah, do something different instead of. I'm always playing new music. I never get a chance to really like play some classics, like 90s classics.
Yeah.
So because I'm a 90s child. I'm an 80s and 90s child. I don't know. People, someone will ask me like, do you play disco? I appreciate, love disco, but I don't know it to DJ it.
Yep.
It's not my era. I love it.
Yep.
I think it's what house music, basically became.
Yep.
So I'm a house DJ. So I'm gonna go back to a little bit of classics
Well,
tonight.
we're really looking forward to hearing you play.
Is that it? We're done? No talking anymore?
No. Well, we do want to do. I know you're playing, so we wanted to obviously plug your party on Saturday.
Oh,
You're
yes,
playing on the
absolutely,
Circle Line boat.
yes.
Carried Away is the
Yes,
party.
this Gene from Biohazard Productions has invited my boys Forward Disco, Sean and John, Chili Davis, myself, and Roger S. to play this Saturday on a Circle Line boat cruise called Carried Away.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll be beautiful weather. We start boarding at 6:30, and it's a short one because it's till 11, But
It's sold out, right?
Apparently, it will be sold out.
Yep.
I think as of today, it's almost sold out. But it's looking really good, and we're excited. This is actually my first time DJing in New York City on a boat.
Right.
An official boat, like a Circle Line thing.
And we're going to be there to
Broadcast.
record.
Yes,
Yeah.
I heard.
So
Excellent. Looking forward to it, for sure.
Hector, this was
complete pleasure, man.
No, the pleasure was
Likewise.
ours.
Thank you so much.
We thank you for coming down to Redhook.
That was quick and painless.
Yep.
And we're super excited to have you get on the CDJs
Thank
and
you.
play for
Yes,
us.
absolutely. Thank you.
So we're going to take a 2-minute break and we're going to get Hector up on the CDJs.
All right.